Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the real estate market. It is now February 2020. What is going on with the housing market? What are we expecting as we move into spring? Is it going to be a buyer's market? Is it going to be a seller's market? What's going to happen with inventory? That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's dive into it. We're just now starting February. The year, let's back up a moment and talk about how we ended last year. So last year, we ended with inventory levels tightening up, which is to be expected as you move through the holiday season. But the one thing that was a little bit different last year versus years prior to that is that buyer demand continued to stay strong through the end of the year. So as we moved into January and new properties started to come on the market, buyer demand, kept going. The momentum was there where it left off in December, which has caused the market to be in somewhat of a frenzy. I mean, the market has picked up a lot quicker at the beginning of 2020 than I think any of us expected. What I mean by that is that, the houses that are coming on the market are getting multiple offers if they're priced correctly. There's a lot of buyers out there looking for the right property. I'm representing buyers in writing offers, and there's multiple offers. It's just somewhat of a frenzy in the market. And it has to do with a lack of inventory, which we've been experiencing for, the last 7-8 years, if you will. And that's not really going to change this year. Traditionally speaking, the market starts to get its legs for our spring selling season right after the Super Bowl. So that's this weekend. And so the market, in theory, starts to pick up through that spring time period, which would be, through the rest of February, March, April, May, beginning of June, and then you got the summertime period, and then it starts to slow down. So, this is the best time to sell a house, traditionally speaking, historically speaking, is the spring selling season. And I don't expect this year to be any different. But what I hope happens is that we start to see more and more inventory come to the market. As we moved into the beginning of January, we did see property come to the market, which is normal. We've started to see more and more property come to the market, which again is normal, but we haven't seen big levels of inventory come to the market. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor in how the year plays out. I do expect inventory to pick up in the spring, but if buyer demand continues to stay strong, those inventory levels are going to have a hard time growing. And the ones that, as inventory levels pick up, a lot of that inventory that is staying on the market it's either a unique property, something that, maybe only a few buyers are out there looking for, say like a studio or a 1-bedroom, those sort of things. They don't sell as quickly as, say, a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom in most markets. And so I call that a unique property. And then you have properties that are overpriced, right? Properties that have things wrong with them. Those properties sit on the market a lot longer than your typical property that is priced at fair market value. So while I think you'll see inventory levels rise, I think you'll see them rise primarily due to properties like that sitting on the market, because I think that the properties that are priced correctly from the start in that $1 million to $1.2 million and below, those properties are going to sell quickly, and they're likely going to sell with multiple offers because there's a lot of buyers out there looking for those properties. Now, as you move up into the luxury price points above $1.5 million, upwards of that, those properties typically sit on the market longer. And that's not going to change. So those properties will always be on the market longer than say your lower, under $1 million properties. But the market is there's still steam at those luxury levels as well. There's a lot of people coming into California with money, buying these luxury properties, using them as second homes, sometimes investment properties. And while those higher price point buyers are buying those properties, they're not living there. They're still living out of state in more tax friendly states than, say, California, but they're putting their money in California real estate because it holds its value. And I think that trend will continue. We don't have as many overseas buyers, as many foreign buyers as we did a couple years ago. So we'll see what the market holds in that regard. But, is it a buyer or seller's market? It's still a seller's market if you're priced correctly. With the lack of inventory, the surge in buyer demand, the scale is very tilted, right? So you've got a lot of buyers looking, not a lot of property to choose from. So when good properties come to the market, they're priced correctly, they get bid up quickly, they get offers immediately. A lot of times there's multiple offers on those properties, and they sell for over the asking price, and then that kind of continues. And so as that continues, I think 2020 is probably going to be another 3 to 4% appreciation year, at least through the end of summer. And then what happens is, it's an election year. People get, kind of weary around elections because they don't know what's going to happen. And so I think as we move towards the end of summer, you might kind of see a hold on the market until something happens with the election, but it's really hard to say. I do expect interest rates to stay low. I mean, the fundamentals of the economy are good. There's no reason for interest rates to really go anywhere. And I think, with it being an election year, I think the president probably wants to keep interest rates low, the market moving in the right direction. It looks good for that person, when they're trying to get reelected, and I expect that to continue in 2020. So as a buyer, rates will stay low. If you're looking for something specific, keep your eye on the market, because if it's in that under $1 million price range, it's probably going to sell pretty quickly. So make sure you have your ducks in a row when you're out looking at property. And what I mean by that, make sure you've been through the pre-approval process, make sure you know what you can afford, how much the payments are, so on and so forth, so that when you're ready to make that offer, you can make it and not have to do all the legwork after seeing the property. Because if you do that, you're going to be behind the 8 ball and probably not in a position to even compete for the property, because there's going to be other buyers in line, what have you. So you got to make sure you're putting your best foot forward and having that stuff done prior to, so that you're in a position to make an offer quickly. And that doesn't mean you have to make an offer quickly. It just means that, the good properties, in my opinion, in those $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 price point are going to sell quickly. If you want to buy something this year, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to be on your game, because there's going to be a lot of buyers out there looking for those exact same properties. The same buyers that missed out 2 years ago, last year, because they were waiting for the market to pull back, or waiting for rates to get lower, or waiting for the economy to collapse. They've probably come to terms now that that's not going to happen. A lot of buyers that have been on the fence are now out there looking. I can say that because a lot of them that I talked to a couple years ago are now back in the market. So, if you're somebody thinking that the market's going to collapse, or that there's a recession coming, maybe that's going to happen, but it's not going to happen this year. Probably not going to happen next year either. So, while interest rates are low, you're gaining another couple percent in appreciation at least this year. It's a good time to be in the market if you find the right property. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're working with a qualified realtor, a professional realtor, somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that can guide you through the process and help you put your best foot forward in making an offer, right? Your cousin that just got his license last week, that's never done a transaction, is probably not the person that's going to be able to guide you in a tough real estate market like we're dealing with right now. But it's a good market. So if you're looking to buy, looking to sell, it's a great time. If there's just not a lot out there, there's a lot of people transitioning from California to other states, and they're looking to get out of this market and into other areas. And so you'll start to see more and more property come to the market here over the next couple of months. I expect that trend to continue. And as we move into summer, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but traditionally speaking, inventory levels, kind of reach their peak towards the end of summer and then start to decline as we move into the holidays. That'll probably be the trend this year. So the spring is usually the best time to get the most amount of money for your house, and also to find the right house as a buyer. If you are looking to buy or sell and you have questions, do me a favor, comment below or reach out to me directly. Would love the opportunity to help. And as always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I do these videos on a monthly basis. Also do videos on education within regards to the real estate market, helping you as a buyer or seller understand what's going on, how to address certain things. So if that interests you at all, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and you'll get updated with videos as they come out. And as always, thank you again for taking the time to watch. We will see you again soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.